We're now just a few hours away from officially closing the chapter on the Warriors season. After being knocked out of the playoffs with a tough 4-1 loss to the Timberwolves, the big question on everyone's mind is simple. What happens next? The offseason is here, and with it comes a wave of speculation, rumors, and some harsh realities about this roster's future. One of the hottest topics right now? Giannis, will he stay? Will he go? Sources close to the NBA are buzzing with updates. And while nothing's official yet, the situation is starting to take shape. But Giannis isn't the only name under the microscope. The real puzzle here is what to do with the core group. Butler, Draymond, Steph. This trio has been at the heart of the franchise for years, delivering iconic moments, championships, and unforgettable playoff battles. Yet time doesn't stop for anyone. Do the Warriors blow it all up, swing for a blockbuster trade, or do they take a step back and rethink how this roster is constructed around their aging stars? That's the million-dollar question right now. Well, actually, it's more like $100 million question when you look at those salaries. Leading this delicate process is none other than Mike Dow Jr., a name that's been circulating heavily in the front office talks. The decisions. He's facing will shape not just next season, but potentially the entire future of the franchise. And that's why following these updates, whether during the grind of the regular season, the intensity of the playoffs, or the strategic moves of the offseason, is so fascinating. Every report, every leak, every move adds a new piece to this complex puzzle. Let's not forget the analysis after that elimination game was top-notch. The team did a fantastic job breaking down what went wrong, where the cracks started to show, and how the season unfolded. If you missed it, go back and watch. It's a must-see for any Warriors fan. But beyond the team-level analysis, individual player performances are under heavy scrutiny right now. Take Brandon PMKI, for example. His sophomore year was anything but consistent. After a promising rookie campaign, this season exposed some weaknesses, raising questions about his future with the team, his contract, and whether he could be a valuable trade asset. This is the kind of evaluation that's happening behind the scenes. The offseason is more than just splashy trades. It's about draft strategies, free agency decisions, summer league development, and deciding which departing players might actually be worth bringing back. The Warriors have a lot on their plate. Changes are coming, no doubt about it. The only real question is how big those changes will be. From what's being reported, the current direction doesn't point to a complete teardown. Instead, the front office seems focused on retooling the rotation around its main stars. It's a sensible approach, especially when you consider the financial landscape. Just look at Jimmy Butler's contract. We're talking about a staggering $120 million over 2 years. That kind of deal doesn't leave much wiggle room. And with Steph, Draymond, and the now departed Klay Thompson all commanding hefty salaries, the Warriors' flexibility is extremely limited. Let's dive into the salary cap implications for a moment. One player is currently earning around $20 million, but projections suggest that figure could jump to $59 million next season. Another key player is sitting on a $54 million deal, and a third is clocking in at $25 million. When you add those numbers up, 60 million plus 50 million, that's already 110 million. Throw in another 25 million and you're staring at a total salary expenditure of around $170 million. That's a massive chunk of the salary cap, somewhere in the ballpark of 60 to 70%. On top of that, there's a $6 million cap deficit that only adds to the challenge. The financial picture doesn't get much prettier when you factor in the league's apron tax structures. The first apron threshold stands at $24 million, while the luxury tax itself hits at $16 million. So while there's some room to maneuver, it's extremely tight. This reality forces the front office to make some tough decisions, especially with several players heading into free agency. The big question is whether re-signing some of these guys makes sense from a competitive and financial standpoint. One name that keeps popping up is that of a veteran big man whose role has diminished over the season. Defensively, he still brings value. His ability to contest shots, secure rebounds, and anchor the paint is appreciated. However, his offensive limitations are glaring. His shooting range is virtually non-existent. His lateral quickness is noticeably declining. And while he's still grabs a few boards, his finishing around the rim has taken a significant hit. The debate is whether the Warriors should look for an alternative, perhaps a younger, more agile defender who can stretch the floor and better fit the modern NBA game. Then there's the emotional aspect. This player is beloved by fans and plays a crucial role in the locker room culture. His leadership, his chemistry with the team, his presence, these are intangibles that don't show up on a stat sheet but are invaluable during a long season. The dilemma is finding someone who can match both the on-court needs and the off-court influence. Is there such a player available? That's the kind of question the front office is wrestling with right now. Looking further down the roster, some players are still locked into their contracts for the next couple of years. In certain matchups, they've justified those deals. In others, not so much. Their inconsistency, especially in high-stakes games, raises eyebrows. Then you have younger players still on rookie deals, with one promising talent facing a restricted free agency. If another team swoops in with a lucrative offer, the Warriors will be forced to make a tough call. Match the offer and tie up even more cap space, or let him walk and risk losing a potential future cornerstone. Depth is another pressing concern. This season exposed how thin the bench truly is. When starters went down with injuries, the lack of reliable second unit production became painfully obvious. That's why the Warriors are exploring options to bolster their bench. But again, cap constraints make this a tricky balancing act. There's also the temptation to chase a big name via trade, but the front office seems cautious. Giving up future draft picks and young assets for a short-term fix is a gamble, especially if that player comes with a hefty salary and a risk of decline. Negotiations are a chess match. Potential trades might involve packaging a promising young player whose contract is still favorable. But is it worth mortgaging the future for a quick boost? The team's asset pool isn't limitless. Structurally, adding another star-level salary could create even more problems down the line. Think about it. If you end up with 4 players earning between $40 and $50 million each, plus a few others in the $25 million range, you're effectively gutting your flexibility. One injury to a key player, and suddenly, you're vulnerable. Just like what happened in this year's playoffs when the Warriors dropped 4 straight games to a superior opponent. And let's be honest, that's not the path this team wants to take. Instead, the focus is shifting towards smarter acquisitions, role players who can contribute without breaking the bank, and internal development. Had injuries not derailed their run, the Warriors might have been looking at a completely different outcome. The matchups against Oklahoma City and Denver serve as reminders of how small margins can define a season. We saw something similar back in 2022, when a key player was sidelined and the team still found a way to prevail. Reflecting on this past season, it's clear that the Warriors went through an evolution from their hot start, with 12 wins and 3 losses, leading the Western Conference, to a mid-season slump that had them hovering around a .500 record. The journey was anything but smooth. The return of a crucial player in February sparked a resurgence, leading to a 7-2 stretch, reigniting hopes of a deep playoff run. Yet as injuries piled up, the limitations of the current roster became more apparent. Despite these setbacks, there's a sense of pride within the organization. As the owner mentioned, simply reaching this stage was an achievement, considering where the team stood mid-season. Losing 4 straight to an opponent that wasn't exactly dominant stings, but given the circumstances, it's hard to be overly critical. The reality is the Warriors weren't operating at full capacity, and that has to be acknowledged. But now, with the offseason stretching out ahead like an eternity, the conversations will only intensify. Player movement, trade rumors, draft, considerations, all of it will dominate the headlines. And while the fan base naturally dreams of a blockbuster acquisition, initial reports suggest that such a move is unlikely. The front office's strategy appears to be centered on refining what they have, building smarter around their core, rather than chasing splashy headlines. That said, stay tuned because this saga is far from over. As always, we'll be here breaking down every development, providing analysis and keeping you updated on all things Warriors. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. The Golden State Warriors, one of the most iconic dynasties of the modern NBA era, may be heading for a major shakeup. According to recent reports circulating in league circles, head coach Steve Kerr could be on his way out. While the organization has yet to make an official statement, growing rumors suggest that Kerr's tenure in the Bay Area could be coming to an end after a decade that included 4 NBA championships and 6 finals appearances. The speculation arises following a turbulent season that saw the Warriors struggle to maintain consistency and cohesion. Despite boasting talents like Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, the team failed to make a deep playoff run, falling short of expectations once again. The front office now appears to be evaluating the long-term direction of the franchise, and that reportedly includes reconsidering the leadership on the sidelines. Kerr, who took over as head coach in 2014, revolutionized the Warriors' playing style with a high-tempo ball movement-heavy offense that took the league by storm. Under his guidance, Golden State became one of the most dominant teams in NBA history. But recent years have brought increasing challenges, aging stars, inconsistent supporting casts, and a new generation of Western Conference contenders. Critics argue that Kerr has been slow to adapt, and that his system, once revolutionary, may now be outdated against evolving league trends. There's also tension around internal development and the usage of younger players, an area where the Warriors have received criticism. Some believe Kerr's reliance on veterans has stunted the growth of rising prospects, creating a disconnect between short-term competitiveness and long-term planning. Still, firing Steve Kerr would be a monumental decision, and one that would undoubtedly draw strong reactions from fans and players alike. He remains widely respected across the league for his leadership, basketball IQ, and championship pedigree. However, in a league where results ultimately dictate job security, even legends are not immune to scrutiny. If the rumors prove true, the Warriors will be at a crossroads, potentially ending one of the most successful coaching runs in NBA history. Whether it leads to a new era or a period of uncertainty remains to be seen, but one thing is clear. Big changes could be on the horizon in Golden State. Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.